Alright guys, so I am going to show you how to write a summary. So first off, I want you to take notes when you see the pencil icon. Remember, when you take notes, you don't take all the notes, all the words, you just take the important points, okay? So when you're looking at a summary should be pretty short. So depending on how long your original text is, whether it's a short story or nonfiction, you're trying to range about a paragraph for our purposes for STAR. Number 2 says contains paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means that you're putting words in your own words. So you're not just directly copying what the author is saying, you're rewriting it so it makes sense for you in your words. Okay, that's paraphrasing. Number 3, when it says main ideas in order, and also when you notice there's a pencil icon there, so you should be writing down a few words from here. You might want to write down short, for example, for bullet point 1, and then paraphrasing for bullet point 2, and then put in parentheses your words. So that's how I would be taking notes on this. For 3, the main ideas. So sometimes it helps if you, highlight or underline some of the main things that pop up. Topic sentences, for example, like the first sentence in a paragraph, you might want to underline parts of that. So look for the main ideas, and they're going to be in order. Leave out a lot of the details, though, because you're only looking for the big ideas. And so good summaries don't have details. And then no personal opinions and no information that's not coming directly from the text. Okay? So why do students struggle with summary? They put either too much or not enough information. They plagiarize, which means they don't paraphrase. So they, copy and paste straight from what the author is saying. And then looking at how they're putting the information in, whether it's out of order or not, so that's sequencing events. Remembering to state what's being summarized. So sometimes, students will forget to say in Winter Girls, a book by Laurie Halse Anderson, and then say their summary. So remember to introduce the text that you're about to summarize in the first sentence. And then they get stuck on one part instead of giving a little bit from the beginning, a little bit from the middle, a little bit from the end, that BME summary. And they look at maybe facts that are interesting to them, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily important in the piece. So you're looking for just the main points that are important, okay? So when you're looking at writing a summary, you could do like a 3-part summary. So we have on our topic sentence, we've got a title and author. Like I said, we want to state what we're summarizing. When you look at the verbs, which I'll show you in just a second, a list, choosing something better than just says. And then big picture, again, the main idea or the controlling idea of the selection. And you can use jot dots or bullet points to help you make sure you understand that main idea or the big picture or controlling idea, however you want to say it. All right? So some of the verbs, for example, and it doesn't mean you have to use these. You can use any verbs that you'd like, but better than just is about. So Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson is about isn't really stretching your diction or your word choice. So some of the verbs you might want to use: explores, illustrates, teaches, compares. Notice that pencil icon in there as well, so you could be writing some of those down. And remember, you can pause this at any point to write these down as well. And then our step 2 is our jot dots. So those are like bullet points, like I said. And so what you're doing is you're looking for 3 to 6 main points that you think are important to the whole piece, the whole text. And then you're going to present them in chronological order, meaning in order from beginning, middle to end. And you don't want to overwrite. Remember, summaries are short, so each of those little bullet points should be less than 5 words. Okay, so here's an example from a pretend article. So if we had the name of the article here, take cover from Tornado, okay, let's pretend it's Tornado's a magazine, then you're giving me the very beginning. That's the what you're summarizing. Let's say we use describes for the verb, and then here's our big picture. And how do we come to that big picture? Well, here's our jot dots. These are some of the main ideas that we took out of it. So you look at all your jot dots and decide, what are they all trying to say? What do they all have in common? And really what they're talking about is, there's a tornado coming, so get ready. So do you see how the article, take cover from Tornado, describes the importance of being ready for tornadoes as a perfect topic sentence for a summary? Okay, so here we're going to go from there. Now you notice there's our topic sentence, and here's where we're going to go into those main points. A young man named Dale saw a tornado headed towards the school. He quickly drove to warn the teacher to get all the students in the storm cellar. People need to learn the safest place to go during tornadoes. Buildings need to be built up to help. Buildings need to be built to help keep people safe during these dangerous storms. So you'll see that you used all the jot dots. You can even go back if you want to look and see that they were all put here in chronological order, and they were made into complete sentences. Okay, so sometimes you can use text evidence or text support, especially in our OEQs or open-ended questions. So those are quotes, from the text. So when it says textual support, you're supporting what you're saying with something from the text. And that can sometimes elevate your writing, but remember that when you're using that, you are going to quote that. So that's going to show it's different from what you're paraphrasing. It's an actual quote that's in quotation marks. So if it's nonfiction, for example, you could use facts from the article or just quotes from the text if you're trying to, support your point. And only use that if it really fits with what you're writing for a summary. You're usually going to use more textual support for OEQ, so you don't always have to use it for a summary, only sometimes. But for an OEQ or open-ended question, those short answer questions we do, you will always use textual support, so don't get confused. All right, so as long as you took your notes, you are done with tonight's homework, but make sure you actually study them. It's not just about taking notes, but about understanding, okay? Have a good night. Thanks. Bye.